Public shaming. Yeah, no. When it comes to public shaming, many of us have our own personal experiences with this. Um, I would like to share some of mine. Well, attempted shaming and my reactions. I am going to admit beforehand I am fairly inebriated at the moment, so some of this may be a slight exaggeration, mainly based on the wording used, but as far as the imagery in my own head, it's accurate. So, if you have any questions, the comment section is, well, always open. I have not blocked a single comment, whether on any of my videos, whether I have liked the comment or not. I personally intend to maintain this policy. Please, for some of you newer people, I would ask you to respect that. I am a firm believer in the freedom of speech and expression, and if we are not free to express ourselves in the ways that we want or intend, we essentially are not free. So, without any further ado, here we go. Public shaming. There are a couple of different forms. I'm going to focus on one form specifically, and that is female to male. Not specifically male to male or male to female, both of which I'm sure we all understand exists. Now, I'm going to focus on this female to male within one specific category, which can be broken up into subcategories, but I'm going to go with this category, none the less. Well, excuse me, I need to take a drink. Mouth's getting a little dry. Yeah. Alrighty. Now, in a work environment, most commonly in this case an office environment. You don't see it as often in a construction environment, mostly as a result of the women involved. So back to the office environment. If a man who's overweight, somewhat, to whatever extent, decides to improve himself physically, he will enrage as a result of being in an office environment, which is predominantly female, as I'm sure we all know by this point in time. If a man tries to go and improve himself physically, he will enrage two groups of women within this specific environment. The first group of women that he will enrage is the homecoming queen type. Alright. What this is that this homecoming queen type of woman is essentially feeling as though you are stealing from her if you are the man who is improving himself. You are stealing from her because from day one she has essentially ranked every single male within the building. Not necessarily companies, since many companies can occupy the same building, but she has essentially ranked everyone. If you are on a rank level of 3, she assumes she can that she can extract X amount of work, labor, or benefit from you through flirtatious actions, a slight touch on the shoulder, certain inflections in her voice. if you attempt to improve yourself, maybe you go and move yourself up from a 3 to a 5, she is no longer able to exert as much force or pressure upon you emotionally or mentally. Obviously, it's not going to be physically. As a result of you moving up in the hierarchy, these women tend to view it as though you are stealing a resource from them, because, well, in a sense, you are. You're moving up the ranks. She's not able to extract as many resources from you as she was previously. So you will enrage this class of women to no end, while at the same time putting yourself into her perceived harem of men to choose from at a later date. They are very schizophrenic as far as this goes. It's borderline. Yeah. Now the other group that will take umbrage to you improving yourself are what I would refer to as the hog beasts. These are essentially the bottom rungs. Now, what's weird is that many of the women in between these two groups honestly will not give a shit. They don't care. They are in the same category and ranking as you. Oh well, it means nothing. These are not your allies. These are not your friends. These are just essentially non-combatants. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. They're just not going to get involved, because by getting involved, they would expose themselves to the same type of ridicule you yourself are experiencing by these other two groups, the homecoming queens and the hog beasts. Now, getting back to the hog beasts, they will react violently as a result of, once again, you are stealing from them by improving yourself. You, in many cases, are permanently removing yourself from their harem of prospective future mates. Now, what this means is, if this woman is a 5 and you start as a 3, she holds a higher rank than you do. Now, as you are slowly moving up the ladders physically, not only physically, but as we know that as you improve one's own physical being, typically, especially if improving your own physical being is a conscious choice, you also improve your mental and emotional self as well. So, you are moving yourself from a 3 in comparison to her 5 to a 7 in comparison to her 5. Unlike the homecoming queens, the reaction will be doubly violent, because not only are you removing yourself from their prospective hosts, in a sense of a parasitic relationship. Not only are you removing yourself from the prospective from their perspective harem of hosts, but you are also pointing out and making obvious the fact that they themselves are capable of improving themselves, and their conscious choice to not do so becomes that much more apparent once you are improving yourself. That is why these two groups of women specifically will react violently to you improving yourself, whether financially, physically, or within a specific given situation. Yeah, I know it's kind of bullshit that I have to try and narrow it down to this point, because I would assume most of us understand this. It's just the society we live in now, which is honestly full of fucking horseshit. Now, within these two groups, you will hear many comments of man up, or, well, if you were a man, or, hey, sweetie, could you go and do me a favor for this? Yeah. No matter what the fuck they ask you, no matter what the fuck they say, your answer, at least not verbal, in your head, your primary consciousness should essentially be, go fuck yourself. Seriously, go fuck yourself. Get over it and go fuck yourself. I am not dealing with any of your shit. I am not your slave. I am not lifting up that giant bottle of water to put into the water cooler because you are thirsty. Go fuck yourself and do it yourself. Both of these groups will attempt this. Both of these groups of women will use any opportunity necessary or that is available to try to impose certain shaming tactics into conforming to their will. Now, once you have established the go fuck yourself mentality towards these groups of women that are upset about you improving your life, improving your health, improving your standings, improving your financial situation, which they complain about, they bitch about, but they all enjoy the benefits of these things. This is where the homecoming queen groups comes in. The hog beast group, their bitching hits a level and plateaus. Because once you hit a certain level, you honestly can't really hear them anymore. It's just background noise. It really doesn't fucking matter. Tell them to fuck off. Now, the homecoming queens, these are women who have essentially mastered the art of manipulation. Me, I grew up with a Southern mom. I grew up with the concept of Southern guilt. Nothing any of these women have ever showed me compares to anything that my mom exerted onto myself as a child. Therefore, I honestly could not give a rat's ass what the fuck they think. Yeah, I am fairly inebriated at the moment. I apologize for my language. I understand that it's not appropriate, but hey, at this exact moment, I really couldn't care less. Now, with this, they will shame you, and their shaming tactics is not exactly to specifically determine or display to you their dominance over you. What it is, on the other hand, is to show to the community at large, or essentially the immediate community, whether it be a work environment, a group of family members, a group of friends, or a group of neighbors, it matters not. The whole point of their shaming tactics is generally to show the people around you and her that they are dominant over you to them. Like with a homecoming queen type, well, their job is to show, obviously, I am beautiful, I am tall, yada yada yada, I have big boobs, I have a nice ass, I have perfect complexion, I have power over you, and I have status over you as a result, and I'm going to show it through these actions. On the flip side, the hog beast end is, I have a brain, I am a human being, therefore you must respect me regardless of my actions or my behavior. You must acknowledge me, you must accept me, otherwise you are a horrible human being, and the rest of society will acknowledge that you are a horrible, horrible waste of existence. Therefore, I am superior over you. This is what their shaming tactics aim for. Alright? Now, in response to these shaming tactics, all I can say is the best defense is a strong offense. I cannot say that 100% of the time that this is the case, but about 70 to 80%, somewhere in between there, of the time, depending on who is involved and where you are, 70 to 80% of the time, when they are attacking you, they also open themselves up for attack. For example, if you get the homecoming queen type to go and try and, well, sweetie, yeah, all that bullshit. If you get this type to come up and try, for example, go and put this water bottle into the water cooler to help everybody on that floor or in that office space, respond simply as, you know, I honestly do not believe, you want to make sure it's present tense, not past tense. I believe you are a liberated woman and that you are strong and independent, so I believe you are fully capable of doing it your damn self. So why don't you go and prove me right that you are my equal? Yeah, you're gonna be known as the asshole. They're gonna hate you, and they will do whatever they can to drum you out of said company. The point is that in all of this, is that the more men that go and stand up and call them on their bullshit, the more they're going to have to acknowledge their own limitations, just as the rest of the human race does, meaning all of us. Most of us, I would assume, understand our own limitations. I am not a biologist. I am not a biochemist. I don't pretend to be. Certain things I understand, but the vast majority of it I do not. Now, on the other hand, if you're talking about electrical circuits or certain aspects of physics or thermodynamics or fluid dynamics, that I understand. But some of this other stuff, I sure as hell do not. And I got no problem admitting that. I have asked many people on many occasions for information, including in my own medical charts, stealing them from the doctors involved, running to a bathroom and making a phone call to ask them questions about what the fuck these people are actually doing to me. I have no problem admitting my shortfalls. Many of these self-righteous and self-centered cunts do. And I would assume that the vast majority of men are similar to myself, in which we are capable of acknowledging our faults, acknowledging our limitations, but also at the same time being conscious of the fact that if we acknowledge these, if we admit these in front of a female, they will most undoubtedly attempt to go and use that in some form of shaming tactic, or some other means of attempting to gain control over somebody else's actions. Adopt the go fuck yourself mentality and work out from there, but don't stop growing. Don't stop learning. Do not stop acquiring new skills or knowledge. Skills and knowledge are what is valuable, not a body part, not a twat, not a uterus. We are making those ourselves, and we are drowning them in nutrient-rich solutions. So tell them to go fuck themselves. Their biological systems are not that valuable. Sorry for the rant. I hope you enjoyed. Well, to some extent. Please leave a comment. Yeah, I'm just in one of those moods.